All right. Good afternoon or good morning to everyone who is starting to file into our webinar room here. Welcome to our monthly webinar series here at TimeSolv. Yes, it is another Wednesday webinar with all the tips and tricks to get the most out of your TimeSolv account. We'll be starting in another minute or so. I'm going to just hang tight and let people trickle in. So those of you that are here, you have a chance to get a glass of water, grab lunch, coffee, whatever you need. Be back in about another minute or so. Thanks, everybody. All right. I know that maybe it wasn't a full 60 seconds, but I've noticed that it looks like our attendance, nobody else has really trickled in. It's a couple minutes now after the hour, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Once again, welcome to TimeSolv's Wednesday webinar. This is Scott Clayson, and I will be assisting and walking through the Wednesday webinar. For those that have attended, and I see some familiar names in the past, this is actually, we're transitioning the host of the Wednesday webinar. Those of you who have been used to hearing me do this for the last, I don't even know how many years, close to 5 years, I think I've been doing these. We are transitioning, and there's going to be a new Wednesday webinar host for now, Tyann Stout, who many of you probably know who are on this webinar. She is our business development director for TimeSolv. Tyann, say hello.
Hi, nice to be here.
So Tyann is actually going to be running the webinar today, and for the most part moving forward. She, for those who have not interacted with Tyann, knows 10 times more about the TimeSolv product than I do. She used to be the billing director for a 400-person law firm. So believe me when I say, when it comes to time and billing and using TimeSolv for that purpose, nobody out there knows as much as Tyann does. So I'm going to hand this over to Tyann, let her run the Wednesday webinar. And yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you, Scott. So welcome everybody to the Wednesday webinar. So excited to be taking over this position and being able to help everybody with utilizing their TimeSolv account more effectively. So I hope that everybody can see my screen. I do believe I have my screen up. And I just kind of want to go through this on today's webinar. We're going to go over 4 different functions that TimeSolv has. And number 1 is going to be commissions. This second function will be reoccurring expense options. The third function will be data backups, and the 4th function will be global rates. Now, after this webinar, and I'm just going to leave this up here for just a moment, if anybody has any questions or wants additional help, would like support, this is our email to our support at TimeSolv. If you email us, somebody will return your email within 2 hours. And this is our support phone number. And then we have a suggestions portal, and that is a website that you can go to where you can submit suggestions to the TimeSolv team for making and implementing either new features or improving the current features that we have. Bear with me 1 minute. All right, so I did go ahead and leave that up here for a few minutes so everybody could get that information down. I am going to go ahead and exit this slideshow, and I do just bear with me 1 second. I apologize. I am going to go ahead and get inside TimeSolv so everybody knows. I hope everybody here is currently using TimeSolv. We're just going to log into TimeSolv from our login screen here. So the first thing that we were going to discuss was commissions. Commissions gives the law firm the ability to set up a report that can feed out so that you can easily calculate commissions that you pay to your attorneys. Some firms use this, some firms don't. It's a really cool function. TimeSolv does this very smoothly in our system. And commissions can be done on multiple different levels in our system as well. So I'm just going to go over this with you. I'm going to show you some of the functionality that we have available and how to run those reports to make it an easy feature for you to use and effectively use. So under clients and matters, any client and matter that you go to, when you select that matter, there is a spot here for the responsible timekeeper. And then directly underneath that spot, you're going to see you can put in a percentage, commission percentage there. If you do this, you're saying this is a responsible timekeeper for this particular matter, and this is how much commission this timekeeper should receive. Okay, so you do have the ability to set that up on the matter level and put in a commission percentage. The other thing is, if you go to the next tab over inside TimeSolv, we have an origination tab. This is where you can set up commission based on originators. As you can see here, I have 2 different originators, and one gets 60% and the other gets 10%. This is super fantastic because if you have what we call split originations, you can set that up inside of TimeSolv, meaning more than one person gets commissions for this particular file. We also have the ability to go under account in timekeepers, and you can select any timekeeper inside your account, and you can set up commissions here. So you can edit those commissions, and you can set up a percentage here as well. So there's several different places that you can set up commission inside TimeSolv based on what you're wanting your timekeepers to collect commission on. Sometimes a firm will set commissions up so that the timekeepers collect commission on their own time. Sometimes the firm will set it up so that a responsible timekeeper is able to collect commission on all work that's done inside that matter. And sometimes they have like a hybrid of both. So they get a smaller percentage of every work and then a higher percentage of their own work. TimeSolv can accommodate all those needs. So it is a very strong and very powerful feature. Once you have your commission set up inside your TimeSolv, and again, you can either do that on the various different places under account or under the matter level details. Once you send out your invoices and then those invoices start getting paid, that's when you're going to get commission that's going to start reporting. Obviously, you don't want to pay somebody commission if you haven't collected for that work yet. So if I go under reports here, well, first let me just show you under account in settings here. One of the things you do need to turn on is you need to enable commissions here. So you do need to turn that on, and that's under account and then going to settings, and it is the last option. So once you enable the commissions here, and you can also set up a percent or a fixed amount to hold out of each invoice that would get paid to the firm. Once you've enabled that commission, you're going to see a new report added to your reports section that wasn't there previously. So if you go to reports, you're going to see that we have a revenue and commissions report right here, and that is going to fall underneath your performance section. This revenue and commission report, you can click on this report and you can run it based on a client, based on a timekeeper. There's a lot of different options in here to be able to figure out how you want to run this report. And you can also run it based on invoice date or payment dates or allocation dates. I'll be honest, my favorite is to run it on payment dates. It's just what I like. I'm going to run a report that's for all clients in my system currently. I have the ability to include expenses on this report or not. Most people do not want to include expenses. Now, we have a timekeeper section here. And we have a responsible timekeeper section here. And then we have manager sections and originating sections. So these are different reports that all can be ran within the same report, depending on how many selections you make. So the timekeeper section is going to give you a report that shows you the percentage that you would pay per timekeeper based on the work that they have done on a particular matter and how much of that work has actually received, you've actually collected for that work. I'm just going to select this one for now, and then I'm going to select some of the other ones, and then I want to show you the difference so you can see it on how that looks. So once I generate this report for the timekeeper section, it's going to go into my downloads. And by the way, if anybody was not aware, on our report section, when you go to download a report, if you are waiting on that report, at the top right here, there's this button and it says downloads, and it will turn green once your report is ready. Okay, so you don't actually have to sit and wait for it. You can go do other stuff, then come back when you see that that downloads where it is green. Okay, I'm going to clear this out, and we're going to open this report up, and I'm going to go through this report with you. So let me just drag it over to the correct screen that I am sharing. Bear with me one moment. Here we are. So this is a timekeeper report. So up here, you'll see the timekeeper's name, and then you'll be able to see the client and matter that they worked on, how much the invoice was, what the fees were, and what that timekeeper's fees were. They didn't have a percentage on theirs, so let me find one that does have a percentage set up so I can show you what it looks like. For instance, right here. So this is the timekeeper. Timekeeper's name is Cody Stout. These are the particular matters that Cody worked on for that month. On this particular matter, the invoice total was $537. We collected $48 worth of time. So there was a payment made on this invoice of $48. Of that, $10 of that payment was attributed to Cody. I'm sorry, Cody had $10 worth of time on that invoice. Out of that time, 83 cents of what was collected was attributed to him because he gets a 10% discount. So his reimbursement or his commission is 8 cents. And you can see that on each one of these. So it does show you the amount of the invoice, how much of that invoice was fees, how many of those fees belong to that timekeeper, how many of that timekeeper's fees, how much of that timekeeper's fees was collected, what their percentage is, and then what their amount is. And then when you get to the very bottom, it's going to give you a timekeeper total. I would know then that I need to pay Cody $64.38 because this is what we have collected of his time that he worked on, that he gets his 10% on. This is his commissions that are owed to him. So I hope that makes sense. And then you can see this is by timekeeper. So like Joe Schmo, Cody, Jacob, the timekeeper's name is underlined, the matters that they worked on, and then a final total at the bottom. So this is a great way for you to see what is owed to a timekeeper and pull this report. The system does all the work for you. There's not a lot that you need to do on that. You know quite easily what you owe that timekeeper. Okay, so we're going to go back to the reports level. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to include the responsible timekeeper section report. And I'm going to run this report. And again, when I generate this, you can see here that it is generating. I'm going to close this. You can see my downloads button is white. It is going to turn green just as soon as this report is ready. See that? it is turned green. Now I can click on that. My report is ready. And now I can open this report. So this report is going to be a little bit different. Bear with me just one moment. So, excuse me. So this report is going to be a little bit different because we had two different sections selected on this criteria. You can see here we had the timekeeper section as well as the responsible timekeeper section. So this is something that kind of trips up firms, and I like to go over this really in detail. So when we open this, the first section we have is the timekeeper section, okay? And if we keep looking at orange here, at the top right here, and we keep scrolling down, you're going to see that's the first section. And then once we get down here, there's going to be a whole second report. So it's essentially two reports in one report. Where did it go? Give me 1 second and I will point that out to you. Where that second report is going to show up at right here. So now you can see that this is the responsible timekeeper report. These are two separate reports. So the first 32 pages of this document is the timekeeper section. And then the remainder pages of this document is the responsible timekeeper section. So if you're running this report, be advised that this is two reports. It is not one, okay? So the responsible timekeeper is going to show you all of the responsible timekeepers matters. It's going to be, so I'm just going to scroll down here and show you this. So like paralegal, that is a timekeeper in my system. They are responsible for all of these matters. Underneath each one of these matters is the list of the invoices that were created. And then if they had a percentage assigned to them, it would give you the percentage. And again, that percentage would be or could be set up to where they're getting a percentage of all fees collected or only their fees. If you're going by responsible, you're going to be looking at all fees collected. So like right here, Joe Schmo, you can see here, this is his particular matter. It's got two invoices. We can see the amount of the invoices, and then we can see, so the invoice was 1408. There was a payment made of 1300. That total is 1300 because remember, he is getting commission off of the total amount that was invoiced on that particular matter. And he's getting a 10% commission, and that's $130. So it doesn't matter who did the work, he's still getting a percentage of all work done. Okay, so you do have the ability to be very flexible with that. So those are the main things I wanted to go over. As far as commissions goes, that we have the ability to include expenses or not include expenses in this report. We can set this report up to be where it's very flexible. You can collect commissions on a timekeeper level or a responsible timekeeper level or a hybrid of the both. And the most important thing is to know if you are running this report and you have two sections selected, it is going to spit out two reports into one PDF. So that's all I want to go over with commissions. Wow, I ran long on that. So the next thing I want to go over with you is the reoccurring expense options. I love this. Under expense up here in blue, we can go to, first of all, we would go to settings, because this is a setting that you have to turn on. And you can see here that 6 options down, there is an option to check mark this box or uncheck it. This is to enable reoccurring expenses. I actually have several firms that use this very heavily. So I have went ahead and it is checked. So that means that option is going to now become available to me under the expense drop-down list. You can see if expense entry, search, and now reoccurring expenses. What does reoccurring expenses mean? It allows me to set up an expense that can be ran, and you have a lot of options in running that. And over here to the right, we have a plus sign to add that reoccurring expense. So you can add this reoccurring expense into the system. You can tell the system the frequency that you want it to be ran, daily, weekly, monthly, annually, or you can also tell it when you want it stopped. Okay. You can put in the matter that you want this reoccurring expense to go to. You can put in an expense code. You can have this reoccurring expense be billable, non-billable, or no charge. You can put this in just like a time entry, quantity and how much it is, or you can do a fixed fee. You can also do a markup, and you're going to tell the system the next date you want it to run. I always recommend setting these out for 24 hours so that you don't miss one. And you can also put an end date. What are these good for? These are good for a lot of different things. If you know that you have something you want to bill a client and it comes to you monthly, whether it could be just about anything. It could be even a firm overhead charge. Let's say you want to bill your client a overhead charge every month. You could put this in here, and you could even set up an expense code for an overhead charge. And then every single month, 24 hours before billing day, the charge will pop in on the account, and it's just going to be included when you pull that invoice. If you have a reoccurring expense that happens every month, you could put that in here and it's just going to happen, or every week, because you can pick your frequency and how often you want this ran. So this is a very, very powerful feature that you can set up in the system. Set it up and forget about it. It's automatically going to appear every single month. Love this. I've used it for a lot of different things. So that is how the reoccurring expenses work. If you guys ever need any help with setting any of this up, you can contact us at that support email. We'd be more than happy to assist you. So the following thing that we're going to go over is data backups. This is a pretty important feature. A lot of cloud-based company time and billing software don't even offer backup, the ability to get a backup. But TimeSolv does have that. We have a couple different options, okay? So under account up here in blue, if we go to import export, the third tab over says backups. Now there is a fee to use this. This automated data backup service is $19.95 per month. You can request a backup to be sent to you monthly, like on the first of the month, weekly, and it always comes on a Sunday, or daily. Just so you're aware, when we send that backup, we're going to send you to a site where you can download the backup. The backup is in Excel format, and it gives you all your data. So you can set this up, and it is a charge of $19.95 per month. And then you will automatically get an email from us, depending on your schedule, that says, here, go get your backup. Here it is. It's in the cloud. You need to go pick it up. And then you have a backup of the system. We also have the ability under import export, if you did not want to pay the $19.95 to get that backup, and you just want to pull backups at will when you want one, you can go into, again, this is account, import export, and you could go to this export tab. Once you get to this tab, you have the ability to download anything that's in the system. You can see here it says selected entity, and then we can hit that drop down. You can see all the various different data fields that we have in our system, and you can download those, and it does download these into an Excel format. It's a very clean download. So you would be able to come in here, select that client, hit export, it's going to download it. And you can see it's already down here. It doesn't take long to download one of these files. You could do all of these files in short order. I could do client, I could include the custom fields if I had them. I can export it and then just move on, and do each individual thing here. And then you have pretty much a full backup of your entire system. You can save those on an external hard drive or somewhere else, and you have backed up your system and it didn't cost you anything. So you have the ability to run your own data backups in our system by going to this import export feature, or again, you can subscribe to have us do it, and we're going to email you that backup on the first of each month, or whatever your schedule is that you've chose. And that is just a small fee of $19.95. And you don't even have to contact support if you want to set this up. Just come into your system, select your frequency, your backup file password, your current password, save, and they'll automatically start coming to you to the email address that is on file. So we went over the top 3 things: commissions, recurring expenses, and data backups. So the last thing that we have on our list that we want to go over is the global rates inside TimeSolv. I love our global rates, and I love the fact that we can do update those rates very smoothly and very easily. So inside TimeSolv at the top in blue under time, if we click time and we go to settings, we have a tab. It's the 4th tab over, and it says global rates. This is a great place to put in rate changes and various different things in your system. A global rate, basically what it is you are going to be able to create a rate, and then you can assign that rate to a client or a matter, and that's the rate it's going to pull from. Okay, so if you have a rate that you use often that is different from your default billing rate, and you're constantly having to build that out on a matter level, don't do that. That's a lot of work. Not to mention, if you ever wanted to change it, you have to go find everything that's on a matter rate and update every one of those. No. We're just going to come in here. We're going to go to the time and settings and to the global rate section, and we're going to create a global rate. As you can see, I've done this. I have a global rate set at 10% discount. So I set this up. So anybody that comes into my firm that is going to get a 10% discount, maybe they're a veteran, maybe they're somebody I know, maybe I have an agreement with them from something else, whatever the case is, they're going to get a 10% discount off of my standard rate. Now, to add a global rate into the system over here to the right, there's a plus sign. It says new global rate. Just click on it and I name this global rate, and then I hit save. After I've done that, it will appear here just like this. And then I'm going to click edit rates. Once I do that, I can see all the timekeepers in the firm. I can see what their default billing rate is. And then I can put down here what I want their rate to be under this rate. Once I've done that, and I've got that global rate saved in the system, I can go to clients and matters. I can pick any matter here in my list. And down here at the bottom, it says global rate. I can say rate by global rate, and then I can pick the global rate that I want this matter to get billed on. So now it is going to be billed on that global rate. Now, I want to advise everybody, when you are changing somebody from one rate to another, a question that gets asked a lot is, well, when does it become effective? I'm going to tell you it's effective today. It's not going to go back and revalue time that's already in the system. So for instance, I just changed this client in this matter to this global rate. Any time I entered yesterday is not going to change. However, any time that I put in now and moving forward will be at this rate. So it's not going to go back and revalue time that's already in the system. It is going to leave that time intact the way it is. And any new time that gets entered after the change has been put here will be at the new rate. So this is a very, very convenient feature. It's really helpful. I use this to keep track of rates. And I've went over this with a lot of different people. For instance, if your rates change year after year after year, sometimes you'll have clients that are on last year's rate And you can see here, have even put these into the system, 2014 rate, 2015, 2016, and 2017. How this is beneficial is a lot of law firms will bring on clients and it'll be like, let's say the first of the year and your rate's going to move up. You want to take all of your existing clients and keep them on your current rate. Any new clients coming into the firm are going to go to your new standard rate, your new default rate, because you've raised your rates. This is a great way to implement that, because what you can do is you can globally update all the clients, all the matters to be on last year's rate code. You can update the rate in the system to your new rates, and then all new clients are coming in at your new default billing rate. So you have your old rate code in there, and all those old existing clients that fall under that are on that rate. And anybody new coming in the door is getting the new improved rate that was updated in January. It's a great way to do that. If anybody needs help getting that set up, reach out to us. I've helped many firms with this, and it's also a good way to be able to go into your account and see what your rates have been and how much they've changed throughout the year, because now you have somewhat of historical information right here as to where your rates have went and what percentage you've increased your rates. It's awesome to use. I've used it many times with firms I help. And I even used it at the law firm I did billing. This is exactly what I would do. And this way I had historical information. I didn't have to think, what was that rate on that file 3 years ago? I have it in the system. So I think we're an hour and a half into the webinar, and I have went over commissions. I've went over the reoccurring expenses, and I have went over the data backups and the global rates. Again, please don't hesitate. If anybody needs anything, contact us at our support line. It's support@timesolv.com. We're more than happy to assist you with anything that you have questions on. You can book meetings with us as well. And I'm just going to go over that with you really quick, because a lot of people are unaware of this. But if you are inside your TimeSolv and you find that you are needing some assistance, number one, there's a little chat bubble right down here. If you click that, you can talk to a live rep that will be able to assist you. If they can't assist you, they pass your number on to one of us and we give you a call. Number two, if you need additional training or support, up here in the right top corner, it says help. Once you click that help button, it is going to take you here, which you can see a training schedule. And this is where you can sign up for various different training classes that we have. The Wednesday webinar, as well as the other classes. Not only that, but there is a place, let me get back to it. Do that again. Here that says online meetings. And if you go there, I believe you can schedule a general support meeting down here. It's just going to take you to a calendar. You schedule it for the time and day that works the best for you. And then we will be able to get on that call and assist you with anything that you have questions about, anything that was discussed in this webinar today, or anything else that you need help with. So feel free to use these. These are free. They don't cost you anything. And it's just another way that TimeSolv can ensure that your firm is running smoothly at all times. It's been great speaking to everybody today. I look forward to taking over the Wednesday webinar once a month, and I sure hope that you guys will join us next month for the next Wednesday webinar. So that's all I have today. You have a great day.